Well, hello, Soul Safari fans. My name is Marilyn Sorensen. I am so excited to share with you a preview of our April 2021 Soul Sister Safari, where we are committed to making magic and memories while paying it forward. So first off, you did read that right. It is a soul safari. I'm coming to you from my home in Kenya, Africa, where I have been hosting soul safaris for the last 5 years. I started coming to Kenya on humanitarian trips about 7 years ago and discovered that there were some projects that I certainly wanted to be a part of and make a difference for and have epic adventures. So today's presentation, this preview, is about the April 2021. So in about less than 9 months away, this is a Soul Sister Safari. So this is for ladies only. Yep. We do host those usually twice a year, although because of the curious COVID times, we've had such an interest in people who have had to postpone their trips for this year that there is kind of a boom, of course, when it comes to travel for next year. So this is one of our Soul Sister ladies only. Now, if there are men that are watching or guys or boys, no worries, we've got you covered. And we do host our Warrior Weeks for men and boys only. We have family trips, couples, all kinds. If you don't see one in our private Soul Safari group, reach out to me. We often do custom designed trips, or we can send you the calendar for all of them for next year. So in today's preview, we're going to show you when to mark your calendar for this epic adventure, what you're going to experience while you're here on your Soul Sister Safari, our different Pay It Forward projects, and how to grab your spot. So this is for you if you are ready for an adventure, if you're curious about culture, because in this country there are 47 tribes, just about that many dialects, and of course, epic adventures. If you have a desire to serve, because this trip is not just about coming on a safari. If you're creative or you want to be, and if you enjoy laughter and joy. So this is not your trip. This is not your bucket list item. If you don't like traveling, because there's going to be a fair amount of traveling to and from, and once you get here, if you detest adventures, if you're just not up for adventures, if your idea of an adventure is lounging at the pool at the Ritz-Carlton and having room service, this isn't your trip. If you don't dig animals, then you probably don't want to come or even follow along with this preview, because there's a lot of animals involved. And if you hate meeting people, soul safaris are not for you. So we say of all the books in the world, the best stories are found between the pages of a passport. And if you haven't got your passport yet, I highly encourage you to get that done, because that is the declaration to the universe that you are ready for adventure. So if we have not had the opportunity to meet, my name is Marilyn Sorensen. I am your partner in purpose, the founder of Soul Safari, and one of your hostesses with the mostest. So we would love to welcome you to Kenya. In Swahili, karibu is the word for welcome. So welcome to Kenya. The basic details, the overview, is this trip, this adventure will be hosted April 14th through April 26th. 2021. This is a voluntourism trip. So there will be a little bit of serving shoulder to shoulder with the Heart Wide Open people here in Kenya. We're going to visit a few different areas of the country on this April Soul Sister Safari. We're going to visit Lake Naivasha. I'll show you more about that. Hell's Gate, or if you're familiar, if you've watched The Lion King in the last 30 years, 25 years, then you're familiar with Pride Rock. So that's actually the area that the Lion King movie was originated of. We're going to visit the famous Masai Mara, and of course, our Pay It Forward projects. So if you're not familiar with some of the world geography, where in the world are we here in Kenya? As you can see on the map on the right, in red, we are on the east coast of Kenya. Yes, that means coast. In our October Soul Safari trips, the itinerary goes to the coast, where we enjoy the deliciously warm waters of the Indian Ocean. So if you were interested in more of a sand and surf and land safari, then the October Soul Safaris are the ones you want to look at. So where are we? Our neighbors to the south are Tanzania, to the west, Uganda and South Sudan, to the north, Ethiopia, and a little bit to the east, Somalia. So some fun facts about Kenya: we lie on the equator. So our climate here is generally pretty warm and tropical. I know that a lot of people assume Africa is dry and deserty, but Africa is an enormous continent, one of the biggest continents, and our weather is generally pretty warm and tropical. We are voted year after year. I think we just received the 9th year in a row as the best place on the continent to come to experience a safari. Our biggest exports are tea and coffee. Swahili is the national language spoken here. Like I mentioned, there are 47 dialects and tribes here. English is the international language that is taught here to children and adults. Most adults here speak English, although they speak British English. So for those of you from North America, it might be a little bit different. There are international yachting competitions. This country is actually a fairly young and new country because independence was gained in 1963. And again, like I mentioned, we do have some stunning beaches around here as well. This is one of the accommodations that we like to choose to stay at when we're in Lake Naivasha. No, you won't be staying in a dung hut the whole time, I promise. This is a picture of Lake Naivasha. Yes, animals are prevalent around this country. Some more condensed in other areas throughout the country, but yes, you could be on the lake and experience giraffes walking by. So let's dive deeper into what you can expect to experience on your adventure to Kenya. So animals, like I told you, and most everywhere that we stay, there are going to be animals that are free ranging by or that are we're on their open territory. So this is actually in Lake Naivasha, where a large herd of waterbuck decided to come pay a visit. This is part of Hell's Gate. Another thing with the Soul Sister Safari is there's going to be a fair amount of adventure outdoors. So anytime I'm hosting a Soul Sister Safari, I work with the 4 elements. So it's important to work with air, water, earth, and fire, and getting outside, as you'll see. So here's a little map. The dot or the pin with the heart is the capital city of Nairobi, which is where you will be flying into. And then the next part of your itinerary is to go a little bit north to Lake Naivasha. So here's some more of what the accommodations might look like. It will depend on how many of you say yes. This April Soul Sister Safari already has, I believe, seven who are already registered for this one. If you have seen, this is a famous photo. So Lake Naivasha is also famous for the flamingos. So thousands and thousands of flamingos that flock to the waters and actually turn the water and the sky pink because of the reflection of their beautiful fuchsia feathers. Again, expect to get up close and personal wherever we are throughout the country with animals like giraffes. Also in Lake Naivasha, we are going to visit the geothermal pools, so the hot springs, to get a nice soak and some therapy with the hot waters there. So yes, you will be packing a swimsuit or 2. At Soul Safari, we make 2 guarantees. Number 1, you will never be the same. Everyone who comes to the continent of Africa says that they're changed for life. I will tell you, there are many reasons why we believe that happens. Also, number 2, you will likely fall in love with children or adults that you can't bring home, but you're more than welcome to love on them because the beautiful people of Kenya are heart wide open, fully present. And that's one of the reasons I believe that you will never be the same. When I first started coming here 7 years ago in 2013, that was definitely my experience, a different pace of life with people who were, sorry, there's a very determined fly in here, who are heart wide open and very fully present. Time slows down a little bit here, and that allows you to sink in and have great conversations and exhale, especially if you've been living a life this year. We can all agree that 2020 has certainly been curious, if that. So there's a beautiful African proverb that we believe, especially with our Soul Sisters Ladies Only Safari: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so I definitely designed this to have that heart wide open, fully expressive experience where you are learning lots through cultural exchange with your age mates from this country. You're going to learn a lot from the animals that you interact with, and we're going to get creative. This is about soul sisterhood. And so there are many things along the way. Again, like I mentioned, we will be working with the 4 elements throughout. I also like to include different ceremonies and sacred elements, like a salt bowl ceremony. Anytime I gather women around, anywhere in the world, and we'll talk about that more once you register, or if you have questions about some of the things we do, let me know. But a salt bowl ceremony is definitely one of the creative adventures that we will have. Now, whether you are a seasoned international traveler or this might be your first international adventure, we make sure that you are ready to hit the ground rolling before it's wheels up and you're flying the friendly skies. So we provide a bunch of trip training starting in about a month actually to get you prepared. So whether that's things like packing light, packing smart so that you can leave some things behind and take back those beautiful beaded jewelry or sandals or hand-carved ebony. There's all kinds of things that we show you based on what your travel style is. We also prepare you with cultural awareness. Like I said, this is a very rich country of beautiful tribes and cultures, and we want to make sure that you have a little bit of awareness before you come on some of the things like the food or the traditions, clothing, language. Now, one of the first questions, and I know because travel's been a bit precarious and many of you have had, I would say most everyone right now has had plans that have been postponed or canceled. And travel. So travel requirements, you do need to have a passport, a valid passport from whatever country of origin you will be departing from. Now, you do need to have at least 6 months remaining on your passport before it expires. So for April travel, you need to have an expiration date at least through October 2021. If you don't, then it's time to renew your passport. The travel day, so the first travel day will be Wheels Up, April 14th from your departure city. Now, when you do go ahead and place your deposit and reserve your spot, our travel concierge team will get to work helping you find the best airfare. So that means the shortest travel time with the cheapest price. Now, there are some of you who do like to maybe travel through Europe or let's see, Turkey, some places like that, and take a layover. You can certainly do that as well and have adventures coming and going both ways. So when we do welcome you, again, karibu, that's your Swahili lesson for the day. Karibu is welcome in Swahili. So when we welcome you to Kenya, you will arrive at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in the capital city of Nairobi, where then you will go through immigration or your visa process, which generally you're going to have done online, especially with the way travel works these days. So immigration, visa, we'll talk about that a little bit more. Pick up your luggage, go through customs, where our Soul Safari team is willing and ready to pick you up. We've been peeking through the windows waiting to see you come. And then we get you settled in for the night in our first guest house, because the next morning we start by loving baby Ellie's. So after your first full Kenya breakfast, we head on over to the Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage. Dame Daphne Sheldrick and her husband David had in the 1960s, late 60s, early 70s, had formed the Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage. It's actually in Nairobi National Park. So it is in an area, so Nairobi is the only city that has a national park inside of it. But these Ellies are orphaned because their moms maybe were poached, unfortunately, or fell into a water hole, or were sick, something like that. And so we're going to make our way over there so that you can enjoy baby elephants to start your day. Then we will head over to the Giraffe Center. So for many of you, I'm sure you have seen the viral videos that circulate online about having breakfast with a giraffe, which happens here in Kenya at Giraffe Manor. However, the average trip for like a week-long trip here just to see the giraffes is going to cost you usually $1,500 to $2,000 per night. At Giraffe Center, or at Giraffe Manor, but what we do is take you just to the next entrance at the Giraffe Center, where those those Radcliffe giraffes actually it's the same giraffes, but they come over to the Giraffe Center. So in Kenya, especially in Maasai land, you can see our director of adventure, Odie, on the left-hand picture, getting what he calls blessings. They believe that when you get kissed or saliva from a wild animal, that's good luck and blessings. So yes, you are going to get to love on the giraffes there and learn a lot more about them. Also, one of my favorite artists is there who carves these beautiful birds, which I can't help but buy some every time. So let's talk a little bit more about our Pay It Forward projects. So Soul Safari is our travel division of my company. Harambee Humanitarian is my humanitarian organization. So we provide self-sustaining solutions for income and education opportunities, especially for girls, women, and families. So your participation in coming on a Soul Safari will also help contribute and pay forward to the recipients of our humanitarian organization here. Harambee is the Swahili word for coming together, caring, sharing, collaboration, basically. So we believe at Harambee Humanitarian that you have two hands, one to help yourself and the second to help others. So our one of our main projects is our Safe Pads project. So in developing countries, you might be shocked to learn that many girls are fashioning their own menstrual hygiene supplies, whether it's maybe stuffing old socks with sand or feathers or dirt, taking pieces of old mattresses or shirts or scarves to make sanitary pads out of them. Many of them get behind in school because they don't have the proper supplies or budget to handle menstrual hygiene. And that's where we come in. So we partnered with Real Relief and the Safe Pads company to actually, we're working on becoming the first sewing center or distribution center here in Kenya. So Safe Pad is the first of its kind. It is antimicrobial, highly absorbent. There's no chemicals so that there are no irritations. They're reusable for up to at least 100 washes. Yep, so that means 3 years or more if they take care of them properly, and they're super comfortable. I myself have used them for many years. They're the only ones I will use. They're fantastic. So one of our projects is to go keep girls in school so that they're not missing days in school by managing their menstruation at home all day long. So a simple solution, I know it sounds crazy, but offering girls the opportunity to stay in school also creates a ripple effect. So by a simple solution like a Safe Pad kit, they stay in school, they graduate, they avoid female genital mutilation, which still is practiced in this country. That's a whole nother topic, but it has been outlawed for 10 years now, but it still takes some time to enforce it. So it keeps girls in school, helps them avoid female genital mutilation or genital cutting and early marriage. So then girls have a brighter future. They avoid teen pregnancy as well. The simple solution of a Safe Pads kit. So, and again, we only do self-sustainable projects here at Harambee Humanitarian. So a kit can be as little as $10. We're working to get it to about the $8.50 range. And that lasts them for 3 years. So their families then have the opportunity to use that money to buy sugar and flour and maize, all the things that they need to support their family. So in advance, we say Asante Sana. Asante Sana is thank you so much in Swahili from the girls that receive their Safe Pads. And we know that when you educate a man, you educate an individual. But when you educate a woman, you educate a generation. So some of our other Pay It Forward projects are making magic and memories. Most people in Kenya do not have photos of themselves. They might have it on a cell phone, but they don't actually have tangible photos. And so when their cell phone dies or breaks or is stolen, then they lose all of those memories. So while we're out and about during your Soul Sister Safari, we have our stacks of Polaroid and Instax cameras. We will do some fundraising to bring as many packages of film, so that when we're giving safe pads, when we're out and about, we can also gift them a photo of themselves. One of the fun things is when we run into El Moran or Maasai Moran warriors in their warriorhood. We have become friends with many of the warriors throughout the years, and having a photo of themselves during their warriorhood is something pretty spectacular. And we often then run into their mothers later on who they've actually given their photo to. So here's some satisfied kiddos that received their own photo, some with their mamas. We also have our 10K school, and we have a library project. So one of our other Pay It Forward projects is creating libraries in school settings. Books are hard to come by. They're incredibly expensive. In fact, to give you a little bit of an idea, the average salary of a night watchman or a security guard in this country is about $175 per month US, $175. So buying a book that is, $10 is really not in a family budget. And as we know, books provide education, knowledge, empowerment, imagination. Being employed in a library, my mom was a librarian, and that was my first job as a kid. So for me, I'm a book junkie. It's rare that I've met a book that I didn't need to buy. And because of our Soul Safari and Harambee humanitarian supporters, we have about 16,000 books right now that we are just waiting to get shipped over here. So we will be doing some fundraising with our Soul Safari guests and Harambee humanitarian supporters to get those books over here so that you will be delivering them to the children who are anxiously awaiting. The 10K school is located in the Mau Forest in the Entiak village. Here's some pictures. For those of you that are familiar with maybe Napa or Sonoma Valley, it looks very similar at first on your way up, depending on the time of year. Now, I did say Soul Safari, right? So we are going to learn more about different cultures, especially the Maasai culture. Our director of adventure, Samuel Oladeri, is from the Maasai tribe. He will be with us throughout, and we will be going to Maasai land after Naivasha. So the Mau Forest is the highland area of the Maasai, and then the Maasai Mara is the lowlands. We will be spending a couple days at the Majimoto Maasai Cultural Camp. Majimoto is Swahili for hot water. So we will be staying in cultural manyatas. Manyata is the Maasai word for hut or dung hut. So we will be staying in cultural manyatas and tents as well, glamping at its finest. Where one of our dear friends and Majimoto's owners on the left is Salaton Olentutu with one of the epic elders, or as we call Masai. In Swahili, Masai is kind of old man, or we would say, in Maasai it is, and Dakoko is Kikuya. Kikuya is the Maasai word for grandfather. So we will be learning from some of the most traditional people left on the planet. They are one of the most remote tribes who practice their traditions daily. The Maasai are actually kind of considered a tourist attraction in and of themselves. They're always dressed so beautifully. They have lots of colorful beads. And as you can see, they practice their traditions daily. So we will be learning from Salaton and those at the Majimoto camp. We will be doing some nature walks, learning about how to read the stars because they use the stars to predict the weather and help protect their animals as well. So a very rich culture that we are really excited for you to learn more from. And of course, safari. Lion King Live, up close and personal. All these photos, by the way, are photos that I have taken when we've been on safari. So whether it is zebras that you love, maybe it's cheetahs or lions. By the way, lion is Simba. Simba. For those of you that are fans of the Lion King, all the characters' names are the Swahili word for it, what it means. So Simba is lion. Rafiki is friend. Yeah. So giraffes, of course, the famous African elephants. Yes, we do have our own in-house Scar. Scar is one of the older lions out on the Masai Mara. And yes, he fought and won, but he does definitely still have a scar. Leopards, oh my goodness, leopards are one of the most majestic, sorry, we've got a, there we go. Leopards are one of the most majestic animals for me, love them. They're a much bigger cat than I think you would realize, and they have those amazing hazel green eyes. Hippos, huge, the size of a truck. We will see different herds of hippos that live near or in the Masai Mara River, the Mara River, and different tributaries as well. There's a variety of monkeys that are native here to Kenya, and ostriches, yes, ostriches. If you've never seen a hutch or a ostrich nest and their eggs, it is super cool to see. Also, we have, of course, more giraffes. And make sure that you have your cameras ready for the epic sunrises and sunsets on the Masai Mara. So world famous Nat Geo, which yes, you'll probably find lots of National Geographic photographers along the way. So bring your best camera or make sure that your memory card is free and open for the average 3,000 to 4,000 photos that our Soul Safari guests take while they are here. Again, I mentioned the Maasai tribe. So the Maasai warriors, we will be visiting them besides at the Majimoto Cultural Camp. They are kind of considered one of the wonders of the world. Again, if you haven't been familiar with them, they're the ones that jump super high in the air. Or if you've watched National Geographic programming, you'll see that they're the ones who sometimes are, oh, right here. Right there, you can see him right now. Our director of adventure, Oladeri. Hi, Samuel Oladeri. So it is his native tribe, and we will learn lots from them and see their traditional dancing and the way they live and songs. So again, one of the wonders of the world. This is an El Moran or Morani warrior, a Maasai warrior in his warriorhood that can last for 5 to 10 years. They pretty much just travel between Kenya and Tanzania, and everything that they own is on them. That's all you see. They always have a spear, they have a machete, they carry a little can of fat from whatever animal they recently slaughtered to eat. And their basic diet is meat, milk, and blood. So cross your fingers and put in all the good juju that will have the opportunity to see and come across some Moran for you to meet. So let's talk about the food. Many of you ask, Marilyn, what are you going to make me eat? Are we eating bugs? No, except that Kenyans oftentimes, so these are fresh lobsters. These are from the coast. So when we're on our coastal trips, we have our favorite chefs and get fresh seafood. This is a typical Kenyan meal. In the middle, what you might think is mashed potatoes is actually a dish called ugali. It is made from maize flour, similar to a polenta. It's called the African cake. And you use that to kind of fashion a spoon and then scoop and eat with your hands. So to the right of that is sauteed kales. Spinach is another, there's lots of different greens that are delicious. In the middle is a stewed beef, and then a little carrot and cabbage salad. Now, for those of you that are vegetarian or vegan, no worries, just let us know. We have all kinds of pellets that come to Kenya. We will do our best to accommodate your dietary needs or show you the resources if you have special things that you need to either purchase here or bring with you. Samosas are a fun snack for us or meal. These are pockets of either meat, beef, chicken, or vegetables with different seasonings. Of course, guacamole, I'm the one who guacamole. Avocados here are unlike anything else. They're huge and sweet and fruity. So this could be another typical meal. Bajia are thinly sliced potatoes. Potatoes here are similar to Yukon Golds. There's only one kind and it's super delicious and buttery. And these are oftentimes coated in a very thin tempura-like batter with maybe onions and cilantro. Chapati is very similar to, and this is something that most everyone falls in love with. It is wheat-based though, for those of you that are gluten-free. It is similar to a very thick and flaky tortilla. Kachumburi is very similar to pico de gallo. So tomatoes, onions, sometimes there's peppers, the right amount of salt, and fresh cilantro. So fruits, lots of fruits and veggies. You'll see in this photo that there are fingerling bananas. We have two different types of mangoes depending on the season, either kind of the orange red mangoes that to me have a coconut undertone to them, or there are the champagne mangoes as well. Avocados the size of my head that are huge and fruity. So there will be plenty of fruits and vegetables. Everything here is non-GMO. Most everything is fairly organic, locally grown, fresh, saying to happy cows. Again, the details of this trip, mark your calendars for April 14th through the 26th. So the departure date from your home city is the 14th. You will land back in your neck of the woods April 26th. So the location again is Kenya, Africa. We will be visiting about 3 or 4 different areas while you're here. The total guests that we're taking right now are 12 Soul Sisters, unless the group of participants decides that we want to expand that. Right now we have 7 spots available. And these spots are going quick, I will say. We will be open to maybe adding additional dates, but right now, this one is our spring one. The expedition investment is $3,975 US. And what does that include? So your arrival assistance at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, again in the capital city of Nairobi. That is double or twin sharing standard rooms in each guest house or lodge. Now, we do try and accommodate about 4 single supplements, meaning if you want your own private room, we can do that. It's an additional $650. I believe we have 1 left. I will look and see with our lodging opportunities what's available, but I believe we've already had 3 of those spoken for. So if this is something you're interested in, message me immediately so that we can lock that in for you. Pretty much 3 meals a day are included, ground transportation throughout, your entrance fees to the elephant orphanage, to the giraffe center, to the safari game drive daily, all of that is included. We do include your basic travel insurance because I know that, it's been a little precarious this year. So basic travel insurance is covered. We do go over that with you. If you want upgraded insurance, we connect you with a really great rate if you want to do that. Approximately 3 liters of water every day are included. Your safari guides, many snacks throughout the days, because even though you might just be sitting through safari, all that bouncing and jostling, you can sometimes get a little snacky. So we do make sure that there's fun snacks. There are plenty of hugs, lots of laughter, and of course, memories that will last a lifetime. So to secure your spot, it's a $750 deposit. Here is the link to do that. I can certainly send that right over to you privately if you want me to do that as well. So what's not included? What is your responsibility besides that registration? So your Kenya visa, which you will need to, nowadays you will need to apply for it online prior to arrival because of the curious travel situations we've had this year. It's about $53 online. We give you step by step, very easy instructions on how to apply for that and all the information that you need to put in there. It takes about 48 hours for approval. So, we walk you through that the month. So end of March, we will walk you through how to get your Kenya visa. Your cell service. If you decide you need cell service, and we hope that you don't, We really want you on the Soul Sister Safari to unplug, exhale, be fully present with the heart wide open people. But call your cell service company, let them know that you're traveling. They usually have a really great $5 to $10 plan that allows you to be international at a really great rate, or especially for text messages. So shopping, if you're a shopper, no worries. We're going to show you how to pack light so that you can pack heavy on the way back if you want. We will go over in your travel training some of the most common things that we find that our guests over the last 5 years have really liked and wanted to bring home, whether that's beaded jewelry or sandals or carved wood from ebony or rosewood or olive wood. Nativity scenes seem to be a popular one. Plenty of jewelry, clothing, different textiles as well. So we'll go over all of that so that you can choose your budget. Again, upgraded travel insurance if you need a premium plan. Vaccinations are one of the big questions. There are absolutely no vaccinations required to enter Kenya. For those of you that have questions about COVID, in 7 months, we've had less than 600 fatalities, all with comorbidity factors. Pretty much all of the fatalities have been 60 and older, hypertension, diabetes, smokers. So not that 600 people or 650, I think, is a light number, but as far as worldwide, our cases have been incredibly low, and our numbers have continued to go down. That's why our borders have been open since August 1st of this year. But no vaccinations are required to come into the country. But if you choose to do vaccinations, that's up to you. We just ask that you keep us informed on your health questionnaire so that we can be prepared if you have any side effects or to support you as well. So no, unless you're coming from Tanzania or Uganda by road, then a yellow fever vaccine would be required. But coming from North America, Europe, no vaccinations required. If you are on any medications, please stay on those. Please bring your meds while you're here. Keep those available for you. Although I would say that pretty much everything that you could possibly need can be found here in Kenya at probably a lower price. So laundry, if you decide to follow some of our tips and pack lightly and bring enough clothes for maybe 6 or 7 days, you might want to have your laundry cleaned while you're here. It's going to run you somewhere between $4 and $6 US. Your airfare. So here's an insider secret from me. I usually host our Soul Sister Safaris April and October, number one, because the airfare is usually cheaper. Historically, over the last 5 years, we have seen airfare take a dip. So depending on where you're at, I would, you know, it's a curious time. I can't guarantee it. Most of the time, airfare is going to run about $1,000 US round trip. That said, we have seen departures from both the East Coast and in Vegas, of all places, for like $650 round trip. You know, crazy. Again, our travel concierge team will be helping you find the lowest price with the shortest amount of travel time for your airfare. Again, a Soul Sisterhood Safari or Soul Sister Safari is about creating sisterhood. If you have felt like you have been really isolated this year and you haven't made those connections that you would like to, if you're at a turning point and you need to have a little exhale time to clear your mind and make some decisions, if you're just ready for an epic adventure, this Soul Sister April 2021 might be for you. Again, we're going to have lots of creative time, lots of ceremony, and of course, epic adventures. So to secure your spot, it's a $750 deposit. Let me know, of course, if you want a single supplementation. We say that we must take adventures in order to know where we truly belong. So it would be our honor and privilege to welcome you to Kenya. Karibu. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them under this video in the thread or reach out to me personally, and I would be happy to pop on a video call with you and answer any questions that you or your sisters, your family members, if you need to consult with a spouse or a partner, I'm happy to answer any of those questions. But we would love to welcome you, your sisters, your nieces, your daughters, your mamas, your aunties, your friends to come to Kenya.